We were discussing the other day this whole thing of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, and in any case the whole country is celebrating India's 75 years. You were a little girl when India gained independence, and you are full of that experience and wisdom of what these 75 years mean in today's India. What is its significance according to you, these celebrations?
Well, the celebrations are almost like they are a sort of you have a sense of betrayal actually with the manner in which the celebrations have been announced, and all the drama that's been taking place of renaming it as the Partition, as Horrors Day, and so on. So it's actually an attempt to make get political capital of a Hindutva kind for something which actually is a human tragedy across the subcontinent. I remember it also like that. See, I was born in 41, so I was 6 years old when India became independent and partition happened, and I do remember that I have said this also, including to people on the other side, that look, I was born before partition, and I was there when that flag was first hoisted, and the flag was hoisted and it flew. It was it in all its the tricolor was. And sweets were distributed. I remember that. I remember it very clearly. But I also remember the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, and I do remember that even as a 6-year-old, the sense of shock and how everybody was, that how everybody instinctively ran out of their houses. So as you grew up, you realized that why had he been killed? It was because he stood for Hindu-Muslim unity. Absolutely. And many years later, when we were doing a little bit of research, we found, those last few months before he was killed were quite dramatic in terms of the experience, post-partition experience. Of course, there was the tension. The riots were happening, but the fact that the last fast, and I want to emphasize this, the last fast was actually about a number of things, and it's been reduced to Gandhiji was wanting the share of the money for Pakistan to be handed over, but it's been reduced to that. It's not that. He was actually the last fast was about minority rights across South Asia, not just in India, but in Pakistan too. So it was like, how could these new countries come into being and survive with these huge pockets of the other within them, if you did not actually have a basic principle of the minority rights put in place. So that's an extremely important thing. So actually what he gets, he is martyred for, is for standing up for the rights of the minorities. And if you look at now, 75 years down the line, it's almost come full circle, because actually the worst thing that is happening at the moment is around the rights of minorities. I think the idea, questions of equality, questions of, say, access to resources, questions of food and healthcare, and all of this was high on the agenda in the early years. I'm not going into the question of how much money was actually put aside for each of these
budgets, even as an ideology,
but as an thing, certainly as an ideology, certainly as every citizen had a right to certain things, and that is what what is independence without, what is freedom without that, what is freedom without equality, in fact. So in that sense, I think those years were an attempt to construct that in some ways. I'm not suggesting that there were no faults in the earlier regimes, but at least there was this the idea that people have rights, and those are fundamental rights, and there are and even the courts upheld that. And suddenly, then you find that it's all gone, and almost gone.